name for a bubble level. Now we've got electronic ones inside of scopes, but the reason I don't like the Pro Vortex bubble level, I like their regular one. It's kind of like a big, fat, chunky, overbuilt bubble level, and that one's just fine in my opinion. But this Pro version is crap because the lines are so light. It's just hard to identify it in the sun. Like if the sun's glaring down on you, it's hard to see exactly where the bubble is and see the lines and just get it lined up. It's just a lot of aggravation. It's very hard to see, and I would definitely not recommend it. Just get the regular one, not the Pro. And then Wheeler has a folding one. I don't know if they only make it in 30 millimeter tubes, but the folding anti-cant bubble level that Wheeler makes is good. It works good. It's got a little arrow. What I like about that is you're just putting the arrow in the center of the bubble, which is a little bit more intuitive. It's just easier to do than line up the bubble in between two lines, because typically there's a little bit of space on either side of the bubble. It just takes more time for your brain to process that it's in the middle before you take your shot. I just think lining it up with the tip of an arrow is easier. It's quicker, which is what you want. So I will do different things with the Magpul furniture, but I do like full-size vertical grips. I just think it's better, especially if the rifle heats up real hot. You can put your glove at the bottom, your gloved hand or ungloved hand at the bottom. If you're concerned about some of this stuff melting, one way to kind of counter against that, take a canted mount for a red dot and use it for your vertical grip. So you just turn it upside down, and then the vertical grip will still point down, but it will point down at an angle off to the side, off to the left side if you're a right-handed shooter. And the interesting thing about that is you kind of recruit more of your deltoid muscle fibers. So if you've ever done like a front dumbbell raise, if you do it with, let's see, like this versus like that, you recruit when your posterior part of your hand or the back of your hand is pointed more towards the ceiling than the thumb side. You're recruiting more of your deltoid muscle fibers, and I think it makes it a little bit easier to actually hold the rifle up when the vertical grip's sticking out to the side a little bit. So, trust but verify. Go ahead and try that out if you want, and you might like that better than straight up and down. But again, I like the large vertical grip to get my hand away from the heat, for storage, and just get a really good grip on that rifle, as opposed to holding on to some stubby little vertical grip. I just don't. I think it's silly how these things get trendy and popularized, and people like some of this stuff that really it makes no sense to me. It's like, yeah, some of these grips are like hollow in the bottom, so you don't have a storage compartment. I just think that's insane. I mean, if you want to have some kind of race gun, that's fine. But if you want a practical, realistic, reliable setup, yeah, I'm going to put oil and a reg in there. Might even put a small cleaning brush. I'm going to put batteries in there somewhere. I'm going to put a spare bolt and spare firing pin. Because if it's a true fighting rifle, you want to keep it fighting. It's like anything else. It's probably going to need some maintenance. The other thing that's not really part of the rifle, but they have on here, it's an Atlas bipod with a really right stuff, Arca and Picatinny adapter. So I can throw this on an Arca rail, I can throw it on Picatinny, and do either or, and that's fantastic. I will say, probably over time, you're not going to want a polymer Picatinny rail attachment, because if you are putting a lot of forward pressure on your bipod, eventually that Picatinny attachment that you put on your M-lock rail, that's gonna break. I've had them break on me. I don't know if it was a Daniel Defense brand, but I had a polymer one on my Daniel Defense, and I shoot that one when I do JP Challenge, and that's like shooting at 800 yards rapid fire, so I put a lot of forward pressure on that bipod, and it just chewed the hell out of the polymer Picatinny slot attachment, and that thing did not last very long. So I would say definitely on a patrol rifle that you're going to be using for serious business, that's kind of like your all-around workhorse rifle. I'd definitely put any attachment I put on there, I'd put aluminum instead of polymer. So I don't know. I'm so tired right now. I don't know what else to say other than, yeah, whoever's been saying BCM's not accurate. I mean, this thing shoots 77 grain OTMs, 3/4 inch groups for 5 shots at 100 like all day long. So it's been fantastic. I've hit stuff at 830 yards. I've gone like, what, 9 for 9. I've got a video going 9 for 9 at 750 on the silhouette with this thing. I know that in the past I have shot different types of 62 grain and probably some 55 grain. The only thing now I really would use 55 grain ammo for is honestly home defense at very short distances, to get as fast as speeds as possible to go through body armor for home defense. I would not want to take 55 grain rounds outside of my house if I had the choice. I think if you're going to shoot long range, I'll take 62 grain green tip for that over 55 grain any day, and preferably like 69 or 77 grain OTMs. Hornady does make 75 grain SBR ammo, and I think that has a soft point. I've shot that at watermelons at 15 yards, and that's just devastating. The watermelons just blow up. So if you want to shoot something like that for home defense, you know, fine. But I like to think of a rifle that's a do-all rifle as a rifle that you might have to shoot up close and far away, and I like the precision that I get from this BCM Mark II upper. It's just fantastic. I mean, when you think that you can lay down in the prone and go 9 for 9 on the silhouette that's 750 yards away, I like having that kind of confidence in my rifles. So big fan of this. I mean, the Daniel Defense that I have, it is one of those pros, so it's like 18 inches, and I think it's not an intermediate gas system. I don't even know if they do that. I think that's more of a Noveski thing, but I think their pro line is their 18-inch strength to weight barrels, like their heavy barrels, and then they go with a rifle length gas system. And I don't know if it's because it's rifle length, but it definitely doesn't cycle very well when it gets dirty. Whereas I think BCMs are they have the reputation of being a bit overgassed, but this thing runs really well when it's dirty. And I think there's plenty of other channels that have done that, where they do like these 5,000 or 10,000 round strings of fire over periods of time where they don't clean their BCM, and the BCM just cycles really well and just does really well in general. So I think that's about all I want to say.